The Filly and Mare Sprint is a Grade 1 run on Saturday's card, and it's run at 7 furlongs, which is interesting that the Filly and Mare Sprint is run at 7, whereas the men's is, or the Colts is run at 6. But it's a unique distance, and certainly adds some flavor to the race for sure. We'll take a look at the field, and you see some familiar faces. Of course, Ways and Means for Chad Brown, Zeitlos, who has been coming on of late. Society, who had a big win at Saratoga this summer. Scylla, who has moved to sprints from Roots and did pretty well in the Ballerina in her lone effort. Vava, of course, who's been a really hard knocker out west. And then we've got, interestingly enough, we've got a couple of closers in here. Not only Zeitlos, but you've got Soul of an Angel and Kirstenbosch, which makes for a really interesting race shape, I think. Society, to me, looks like really the only one who would be confirmed to go to the lead, but we'll see what happens in the race. First ones we're going to look at ran in the Ballerina Handicap at Saratoga this summer. And the first being Society. This is one Steve Asmussen's had for a couple of years now. There's only one way to go, pretty much, and that's go to the lead. Although in the Ballerina, she did rate a little bit. The knock on Society has been basically that, she fades in the stretch quite a bit, but I'll tell you, in the Ballerina, she did not. She drew off with authority, and maybe it's a harbinger of things to come. Maybe it's just a matter of getting older. I don't know, but in that race in particular, she was able to stay the course. Scylla, again, we talked about. This is the one who's got the regal pedigree, full brother to or sister to Tacitus. You may remember from the Derby Trail a little while ago. Close Hatches was quite a filly in her own right. So it's a great pedigree. It seems more two turns, and Scylla has been running it two turns pretty effectively, and then all of a sudden was switched back to sprints in the Ballerina, and I really liked Scylla that day. And I was there, and that was one of the many second place finishes I had on the day. But that's another story. But I thought Scylla ran a really good race. It was pretty speed favoring that day, and so there was Scylla coming from off the pace wasn't necessarily to her advantage. But I still ran a very good race, and I'd be very interested to see how she does in this one, if in fact she runs in it. And then you've got Vava. Vava's just been, a career horse, been really solid. Another gun runner, and interesting to see all these gun runners running in sprints like Ganite and amongst others. Cherie DeVoe trains Rod Ortiz in the irons and had a pretty good third in the Ballerina. So let's take a look at that race and see what we see. So here's the Ballerina. And we've got Vava in the 3-hole, Society in the 4-hole, and Scylla in the 5-hole. So they're all right next to each other. And keep in mind, this is a 7-furlong race, so that's certainly makes it a really good Breeders' Cup prep.
Gate. And they're off in the Ballerina. And Money's Gold and Vava.
Money's Gold, no surprise, going to the lead quickly, but Vava was pretty keen. Scylla laying back a little bit, and Society, interestingly enough, didn't go right to the lead. Just kind of decided to rate off of Money's Gold, and that's not normally her MO, so that was kind of interesting.
Coming after her a length back second. It's 2 more lengths to Scylla
22
in
and
third.
3,
Vava
I'd say that's pretty
off the lead. The opening quarter
reasonable.
Went in 22 and 3/5 seconds. It's a gap of 5. Back to Positano Sunset, Sheeta Booty, and Chi-Town Lady is at the back. Money's Gold tracked intently by Society.
Vava saving all the ground. Society's got a no excuse trip right off the throat latch of
Vava has her
Money's
head in
Gold.
front of Scylla, third and fourth, 44 and 4. And Society has her mind on business. Quickly going right by Money's Gold at the top of the stretch. Scylla, Vava has room along the inside.
And really this is even more impressive since Society lost a little ground on the turn there.
Now 2.
It was carried out wide, wasn't staying on the rail, and yet
inside third, a 16th
put
to
away
run,
two pretty
and
damn good horses,
Society
Vala
brought
and
her
Sella, like they
A-game,
were sitting
and
still.
she's much the best in the Ballerina
So
under
that's a
Tyler
pretty
Gaffley,
special effort. Whether or
scoring by
not you can do it
3.5
again, we'll
lengths.
see.
Silla was
But
second. Vava finished
pretty damn
third.
good.
Positano Sunset was fourth in 122 flat.
So here's the Chillingworth, and we've got Kirsten. You can see small field. Kirsten Bosch is in the 6 hole. One Magic Filly is in the 5 hole, and Sweet Azteca is in the 3 hole.
They're all in line. And they're off in the Chillingworth to a very even beginning.
You see Kirsten Bosch for
Sweet
a late run.
Azteca, One
Broke
Magic
pretty
Filly is
solidly.
up close, and Kirsten Bosch not far behind, just a
Sweet
length and a half
Azteca
off them, leaving Irish
right to the
Wahini as
lead.
the distant trailer. Down the back stretch, and Sweet Azteca leads the way, prompted by One Magic Filly, who's 3/4 of a length back in second. It's another 3 to Kirsten Bosch, 2 clear of Irish Wahini.
You see Sweet
They're coming toward
Azteca's
the
open
half-mile
range
pole.
here,
And Sweet
One Magic Filly, they
Azteca, the way she
reined in a
likes it
little
on the
bit,
front
so
end,
he's got
getting some
plenty of
mild
horse
pressure
in
from One Magic
Filly.
Filly. 4 back to Kirsten Bosch, kept well off the rail in third. Set down now, trying to close the gap in Irish Wahini. 3 furlongs remain. Sweet Azteca and One Magic Filly. One Magic Filly has put her head in front. Now it's a neck in front. Sweet Azteca will need to counter. Suddenly, One Magic Filly is a half length to the good with a 1/4 mile to go. One Magic Filly means business. Turns for home, and Sweet Azteca has no reply for her. Irish Wahini is, in fact, trying to get into second at the 8th pole. One Magic Filly, 3-length lead. Irish Wahini takes up the chase. It's One Magic Filly. She stepped up her game in tremendous fashion.
You know,
Winning
it
the
just points out the
Chillingworth.
sanity
Irish
that the
Wahini
West Coast
second,
tracks
Kirsten
are just
Bosch
desperate
third.
closers.
Sweet
It's so speed
Azteca
favoring.
faded to
Closer
fourth.
really needs tons and tons of help to factor, but really good race for
Entering
One
the
Magic
winner's
Filly
circle
for sure.
is One Magic Filly. She's a 3-year-old bay filly.
Ways and Means needs no introduction. She's really blossomed as a 3-year-old, particularly when they've cut her back, and looks to be a candidate to be the champion sprinter. 3 years old, going to be facing older. Of course, that's always a little bit of a challenge, but seems to be up to it. Ran in the Gallant Bloom and took that down. Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt, Claravich Stables, lots to like. 7 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds. So running at the around 1 turn is definitely what this horse should want. Comes off the pace a little bit, and that is a little concerning at a track like Del Mar. But this is certainly a win candidate without a doubt. And we're going to take a look at the Gallant Bloom and see how she did last time. So here we go in the Gallant Bloom, and Ways and Means is pretty easy to spot in the Claravich Silks, white and red with the KS in the middle.
Hot fudge.
You see, it was a little on the wet side that day. A
Goes
lot
in.
on the wet side.
All set for the Gallant Bloom.
Small field. Boy, that's really becoming the norm in these graded
And
stakes. It
they're
sucks. So there's in the 3-hole,
Hot
Ways
fudge
and
has early
Means.
speed, and so does Nick Style. And here comes Nick Style towards the inside with Ways and Means. In between horses, that's the top trio. Just off of them, Pacific Rose and the trailer. Sterling Silver, pretty tightly bunched here as they work up the backstretch, and Nick Styles got the lead. But it's a tenuous one as in between horses. Here comes Ways and Means, just cruising along. Now stalking right here from second. Hot Fudge is 3 wide in third. At the rail is Sterling Silver, and now the trailer is Pacific Rose. Less than 4 furlongs to go, 22 and 3.
Well, good start for trip right off the
Nick
speed.
Style is only ahead in front with Ways
And that would be, you know, if she could run that way at Del Mar, that would be much better. She had been running a little bit further back at times, so this is definitely a preferred trip.
To move forward, Sterling Silver is right there in fourth, and the trailer, Pacific Rose, 45 and 4 for the half-mile time. Nick Style is very game towards the inside, but now Ways and Means is trying to assert, and Ways and Means gets the cue and kicks for home. Ways and Means
Didn't even
extending
go to
the
the
margin
whip.
now. Nick
Well, maybe a
Style
little
is
bit there,
very
but-
resilient towards the inside the final furlong. Ways and Means approaches the final 16th, and this is going to be an easy victory here. Ways and Means
Piece
wins
of cake.
the Grade 2.
Right
Gallant
at
Bloom.
7
Nick
furlongs.
Style second, then the New York bred.
6.5
Sterling Silver
rather.
third. In 1 minute 15.4.
Looking pretty good.
6 seconds.
Next, we'll look at Soul of an Angel, who's a late runner and one of several late run off the pace runners slated for the filly and mare sprint so far. So that should make for an interesting race shape. As I mentioned, you see owned by C2 Racing, very prominent down in Florida, Safi Joseph, trainer. And this one, again, is, one that's going to be coming from the clouds. And 7 furlongs certainly is a favorable distance for later runners. We'll just have to see if it works out. Most recently, got qualified for the Breeders' Cup by winning the Princess Rooney Stakes down at Gulfstream. And it is a grade 3. I'd say the field was a little on the suspect side. You take that for what you want, but we're going to take a look at the Princess Rooney. So for the Princess Rooney, Soul of an Angel is number 5. And you see a full field, which is nice to see for a graded stakes. And you can see, as we usual, she'll take right to the back. Tell you the thing, it was interesting. Mary Quite Contrary was in this race, and I don't know what's happened to her, but she used to be a 7 furlong specialist, especially at Gulfstream. And boy, that's she was a nice horse. It's a shame. I don't know what's going on with her lately. And you see, just going to hang out at the back. And, that to me, you see that opening quarter of 23. I mean, that is walking the dog at Gulfstream.
Best Dream is turning up the heat second. These two have gone 2.5 better than Unsolved Mystery, who's 3 wide third. Mondra's at the rail, working harder between horses is Battle Cry.
Picking it up a little bit, 45 and 4.
Soul of an Angel finds her best stride and comes on next. They move to the top of the stretch, a quarter of a mile.
And here comes Soul of an Angel, picking her way through. You see kickbacks, doesn't bother her.
Orange cap, here's Soul of an Angel for a stretch bid.
Swung out, right in range. Just eating up ground, nice kick.
Gobbling up ground. Final 1/8 of a mile, Best Dream, Soul of an Angel getting to her. Here comes Soul of an Angel, surging forward.
Rubbing, and solid win at the grade 3 level, but you see that time is a little suspect. But you got to give her credit for closing into a fairly soft pace. So, a pretty good effort for Soul of an Angel. Zeitlos is a horse that's on a lot of people's lips right now after winning the Thoroughbred Club of America. This horse is on a bit of a roll. It's had a couple of solid stakes wins. And the last one in particular, coming from off the pace, again, like many of the runners in this field, was pretty sharp. And Steve Asmussen, I've said it before, is really good at keeping horses running well for extended periods of time. So coming into the Breeders' Cup, Zeitlos is looking pretty good. We're going to take a look at the Thoroughbred Club of America, and you can see for yourself. So here's the Thoroughbred Club of America, and Zeitlos is in the 6 hole.
And they're off in the Thoroughbred Club of America Stakes.
And you see he's going to be content to go to the back.
Broke sharply. They come
Did
out to
break
contest
well,
the
though.
early
That's
lead.
important.
They've got company. Spirit Wind is right there with them on the outside. And here's Spirit Wind moving up now to take second by a neck, a half length off the lead. Then a gap of 3 lengths to Run for the Hill. Zeitlos is to her inside and Red Carpet Ready stacks up to their outside, 5 lengths front to back as the field works their way off the end of the backstretch and onto the far turn. Clearly Unhinged comes away with a 1-length lead now. Spirit Wind second, a length and a half. Bright Work is third, 21.54 seconds the
Bright
time
Work
for
in
the
this one,
opening
but
corner.
Sometimes second off the layoff, horses can back up a little bit. Fillies
just to the
especially.
outside of Clearly Unhinged.
We'll hear
has
from
to
her
lead
again, I
3/4
think.
of a length. The gap of 3 to
You see
Zeitlos.
Zeitlos save some ground and now is going to pick her way through.
Looks for a little more running
Found
room.
some
Bright
room
Work is
on the
next.
rail
Red
and,
Carpet Ready on the far
away she
outside.
went.
Run for the Hills is last. Here's Zeitlos diving to the inside into the final furlong. Zeitlos is going to scoot up the rail to try to get by Spirit Wind. It is Zeitlos at the 16th pole who's
That's a
got
pretty
the lead and
solid
is trying
field
clear
that
for
she
Jose
dusted.
Ortiz.
And I love it to
Zeitlos
see
to win
them
the
keep
Thoroughbred
on
Club
like
of
that.
America. It was Spirit
Really
Wind who
solid
was
effort
home
for
second.
sure.
Bright Work was third. Clearly Unhinged.
At 6 furlongs,
was
but
fourth.
with her running style, 7 furlongs shouldn't be a problem. So
The official
she's
winner,
definitely
7th race,
Zeitlos
44th
a
running
solid
of the
contender
Thoroughbred
for the
Club
race,
of
no
America
doubt.
Stakes Grade 2.
So we've got 2 more candidates listed for the race, but interestingly enough, both of them have run on turf in the last race, the Franklin Stakes. Frosted Dawn and Pandora's Gift are the 2, and they sort of are similar. They both started at Chelmsford City a smaller track in England, I believe, and then moved on up the ladder. Frosted Dawn, I believe, has been a little more successful, a few more wins than Pandora's Gift, but they both moving up to the grade 1 level has not been successful for either of them. Pandora's Gift being the other one you see here. But they did both run in the Franklin Stakes. They both came from off the pace, and their Pandora's Gift were a little more forwardly placed and more successful. To be honest, I've toyed with the idea of reviewing the Franklin Stakes, but honestly, it's on turf, so I don't know how much we'd get out of it. Looking at either's pedigree, probably Frosted Dawn is maybe a little more likely to cotton to the turf. I'm not sure about Pandora's Gift, but if I had to take one or the other, I liked the turn of foot I saw from Pandora's Gift. Either way, that was a grade 2. They ran in pretty well last time. But moving up to the grade 1 level is still a question mark for both of them for sure, especially on dirt and on firm dirt at Del Mar. So that's a look at all the races for the filly and mare sprint. And obviously, if there's updates to the field, we'll try to get those to you and take a look at any more pertinent races that arise. We're going to do this for all the races, as I mentioned before in my previous couple of postings. So you'll have a lot of content to go over, and I hope this posting helps you with your own research for the Breeders' Cup, give you a little bit of a study guide for this race. And again, we'll have it for all the races, so be on the lookout for that. And it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Please like and subscribe. It does take a little bit of time to put these together, and it does help us to continue to provide content to you. So if you could do that, we'd really appreciate it. And those of you who are still on board, thanks for being a part of our community. Really appreciate it. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.